Hello chat, welcome in everyone. Hopefully everyone is nice and dry and doing well. Gonna stuff some peppers tonight. Continuing on with our budget week. This is a great one that you can actually meal prep with too. Where at the last step here, when we're going to throw it all in the oven, you can, instead of throwing it in the oven, you can tightly wrap it with plastic wrap, or if you got a nice vacuum sealer that won't crush it, probably will, you can freeze them. But tightly wrap them. That means you're going to come back to them in a relatively quick rate, because if you're using plastic wrap to do just about anything in the freezer, you're going to have to worry about freezer burn. And so it's not a month's thing, it's a week or two. I hope Grams is okay. I'm just ignoring that. In the middle of me making coffee. I've covered this before. Really new cup that can hold snacks on top of also. You mean like an old school, like, thermos? Hello, Cosmo. How are you, fine sir? Fine miss, fine sir. Fine individual. What did I do with my... Oh, there's my lip. Ooh. Hotel time with Chef. Oh, come in, folks. Cheers. How can you have you here? So peppers. You get sweet peppers. And get some stickers off of these. Well, other than going shopping today, I've been here. This is my kitchen. Why does this have to be such a problem? It's because there's a camera involved. Like, it doesn't even want to peel when I peel it normally. It's still leaving half of the sticker in residue. Even leaving like half of the sticker still in residue. But what's up there, sticker? Oh, you don't got one. Really? Didn't need a knife for that last one. Alright, so 2 red, 1 yellow, 1 green. If you want a sweeter type deal, you want to go with these. Maybe this guy. And then certainly on this one, this is going to be more on the zestier. Ah, that stem is not looking beautiful right there. Cut that a little tighter. Alright, so I'm going to start by washing each of these and prepping them. Let's get rid of the coffee grounds. With cold water really trying to get down into each of those grooves, get that dirt out. That one's looking pretty good already. Now each of these I'm just going to, unusually, normally with these, they just hack off the top like right around there. Call it a bowl. I'm going to go around the center here and try and keep the shoulders, the high points of the fruit or veggie product. Trying to pull the seeds out together. Sweet peppers, yes. Bell peppers, sweet peppers. Bell peppers are sweet peppers. If it's not hot, it's a sweet pepper. And actually, that stayed together pretty nicely. No, Will's a sweet pepper. It's a complicated process. Nice buns. If I was having them, I wouldn't be going to all this trouble of carefully pitting them. I've toyed with putting the tops back on things after roasting them or filling them, and it rarely turns out well. Yeah, I broke that one pretty good. Excuse me. So we're going to make some rice, and to do that we're going to get some stock melted here. Then also with this, we're going to use some Italian sausage. I actually have a local shop here that makes Italian sausage. It's not the best, but it's not bad either. I'm just going to take one link out of this. Tempted to add a second. Nah. One's enough. Budget week. With Italian sausage, I need bacon. I mean, I love bacon, but... Hi, Noma. But I am not going to be cooking this as normal. I'm going to be peeling this skin off and then doing it as ground sausage. Yep, I'm just letting whatever that is burn off. Ooh, let's do some onion with this too. Now that I've thoroughly coated my hands in raw. Oh, yeah. And I've got onion in the fridge already. Because you remember I was going to make onion rings the other day and decided to cut an onion just in half. Fun times. Ooh. That's fine. We'll start searing our. Oh. Oil, no oil. We're fine. It's sausage. smell off of that is great. There's most certainly some nutmeg and some wine in that. It's not just, you know, just red pepper flake. You're intrigued on how I'm making these. Very skillfully. I don't know that I really had one. I asked in Discord for people to give me some qualifications on what I should do. And if it's under 20 bucks, and actually most of that is for the full pack of sausage, which was almost 11. And I also asked, I wasn't sure if I should, you know, a good portion of this and all of the last stream's ingredients were pantry stuff. And turn a lot of that looking like steam there is actually steam, but it's coming from the chicken stock on the other side of the stove there. I've turned that off now so that's not bubbling anymore. I'm still wondering where I'm going to be able to find cake pops too. Like, I can make cake pops with the ingredient challenge. I don't know where I'm going to buy cake pops from. This is a question mostly for Buns because she was the one that submitted it. But I'm putting her on the spot because And the other part that I also talked about earlier, Noimu, is when it comes to the budget dinners, which we can do $15 too, but the other question is, you know, I'm streaming. You know, I can do budget, I mean, we can do ramen and, you know, random simple ingredients, but I don't know how much of a stream that is either. Yep, there you go. Dinner for less than $2. can even use 2 packs of ramen. And I've said before to chat several times before, separate from this conversation before, but what often happened for me when I was working on the line was both prepped foods in advance, hence the way I'm streaming nowadays, and rice. Like, I lived on rice back then. When I was living in LA, like, I survived on rice. Rice and whatever you want to mix into it. Eggs, meat, veggies, variety of veggies, seafood, eggs. I'm going to use some of these onions. I think this is too much onions for this whole project. Yep, dried beans, potatoes, any other type of starch. I mean, you look to Europeans and Northern Europeans, they throw all sorts of stuff in their mashed potatoes. They tend to do more things like sauerkraut and things that I probably wouldn't, but it's a great example otherwise. And there wasn't a whole lot of oil left in the pan after that sausage, or fat in the pan, so we'll add a bit more sunflower in there. I haven't checked the news at all really today. Is anything interesting going on today? Lentils. Delicious. Yeah. Some frozen corn in with our onion there. Salt. pepper and MSG. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder in here in lieu of using fresh garlic. But otherwise, I'm leaving things pretty simple as far as the rest of this. Sausage back in there, you heat off on that, and just let that to hang out. And start preheating our oven. What did I do with my pan? Oh, I'm using it. Are those going to fit in here instead? That'll work. That'll work. Yeah, I don't have a lot of those. I don't have Piggly Wigglies. I know of them. I can't remember if I went to one or if my friend was just ecstatic about one when I lived in Phoenix. But I'm very certain that I know of Piggly Wiggly. And yeah, Aldi's hasn't opened up out here. What else are we doing for this? We could do some mushroom in this, that would be awesome, but I don't have any mushroom to do it with. We need rice. Rice is our next project here, folks. Doing a cup of rice. Reuse this same pan, and we're going to take a cup and a half of our stock, roughly. That's a little bit more, and then I spilled some of it, so hey, that's perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. salt and pepper. Yes, that's the stock that I made on stream. Although, if you're going true budget, you can just use water, obviously. You can use your own homemade stock. You can use purchase stock for, I mean, I still think it's sort of a rip-off at $2 a 32-ounce thing. Actually, it's probably more now. It's probably 3 or 4. So we'll add a cover to that, bring that up to a boil, and then allow it to sit. Yeah, as the words were exiting my mouth, Rando, I was sitting there thinking of the local supermarket featuring theirs for $3, and I was like, yeah, it's got to be more expensive. Because that's their, get you in the door sort of, price. And the good stuff, obviously, is worth a lot more. Like, yeah. If only I'd gotten the place from my business. Like, the minute I started, dude that had a paella restaurant or a mobile business immediately just started selling stock and to the supermarkets, and for stupid high prices. Like, I think it was at least 3 times higher than I was charging for mine. I mean, granted, he was having to get his cut, and the supermarket had to get their cut, and so obviously it had to be more. But his he's selling 24-ounce like cartons, like ice cream cartons, frozen. And so it's frozen, so it's taking up more volume frozen than you're getting when you defrost it. Yeah, you got to think about even those small amounts when you're dealing. And I was doing, what were my prices? I don't remember. $3.25 and $5, and he's doing 12 to 14. My 5 for, what was it? I was doing, because I wasn't selling at 24-ounce bags. Yeah, that's also one you should consider if you buy your gasoline from any, like just about everywhere in the U.S. It's regulated that you have to have your tanks below ground and all sorts of other safety stuff. Back in the day, you used to have above ground tanks all the time at gas stations and stuff like that. You can still find them depending on where you are. Don't buy from them in the middle of the hot day. We sell gas by volume. So we're going to use the rest of this stock, but I'm just going to reserve it for a little bit there in the back pan there. and I'm going to make a roux. I'm gonna go for a roux, even though the roux is the more expensive version for this, chat. Well, maybe I was gonna make a roux. Oh, hey, I'm out of butter. Awesome. Our rice is to a boil, so cutting the heat on that's just gonna set for another 10 minutes. Yeah, I don't know the full science behind it, but yeah, it's harder on things. So I guess I'm not making a roux in the traditional sense of using butter. Maybe I'll do an oil roux. Let's do an oil roux. The initial thing that my brain says is it's probably it's like probably jumping that gap between gas and diesel. When you add ethanol in it, then it sparks that much hotter. But today's engines are all capable of it. It's just a matter of how long they're capable of doing it. Alright, so we got our oil-based roux there. Go back in with our chicken stock, or you can just do a little water here. And whatever dairy you have, I'm using half and half is always what I have in my kitchen. But milk, skim milk, you're thickening it. So it doesn't really matter what the thickness, the fat thickness is to begin with. I'm going to switch to an actual whisk now. Into this, I'm going to add salt, pepper, and Italian herb mix. I haven't done it on stream, because I don't have, well, I've got all sorts of stock pots. I guess I could do it on stream, but I haven't, but I've participated in them. We actually have a regular not a chat tonight, but we do have a regular that loves chatting about their Southern Louisiana style foods. But I guess you have New England style. So I'm adding a little Italian herb mix in there, so just some dried herbs along with our bechamel. And I'm doing budget dinner tonight, so I'm keeping things like just a simple dry herb mix and salt and pepper. If you want to add some, Gouda cheese or something like that, I would not protest. Alright, we'll let that simmer for a little bit. And use up the end little piece of our cheddar here. So this is really just a little bit of cheese to cap the top of them. And it's cooking a bit hotter than I thought it was. Lastly, we need to chop up this green onion. That's what I'm forgetting here. Green onion, I'm going to call especially budget-minded folks absolutely optional in this dish, but it does add a lot of color. Additionally, you can use some parsley, whatever herbs you got around the house in that sense. I wouldn't suggest putting a ton of tarragon in it, but Might have been early for the rice, I don't know if it was or not. If you're slightly under for this dish, it's most certainly not the end of the world. We're gonna bake it again. It can cook some more. This is unusual for a rice dish. Usually you gotta be right on with your rice right off the bat. Yeah, it looks like we did alright anyways. So we'll mix our filling together. We got our onions, our corn, our Italian sausage, our rice, hey base devil. How dare you, dad joke. Now, if you want to go spicier here, add your favorite hot sauce, add your favorite hot spice seasoning, maybe some, what is the Korean fermented pepper paste that is all the rage these days? The name I'm forgetting. Gochujang. But yeah, a little Carolina Reaper. If you're one of those people that have completely burnt out your ability to eat unheated foods, like the dude that develops those, add in our green onion. We'll leave a little bit, just finish garnish. And then we're just going to be, next step is just being careful in filling these up. Find a nice size spoon that'll work for you for the size holes that you've cut. And since everything's cut pretty fine, it should all fit in the hole pretty easily. I'm about halfway there with this. Some people add some cheese in at this point. I have not forgotten that pan behind me. I'm going to fill all of these halfway up here. If you have split them like I have here with this one, you want to give a little extra support when you're pushing down. Hello, Best Rose. Alright, so we got them all halfway now. We've got our slightly thickened bechamel back here. Get rid of the whisk. The whisk. And we're going to add a little bit of, using my funnel here, add a little bit of bechamel into each of these. I did take a moment when I was buying these peppers to make sure and find peppers that looked like they would stand up nicely on their own. And now we're just going to finish filling them up the rest of the way here with our rice. It's certainly not an expensive dish. I mean, it'd certainly be an expensive dish when you start buying lots of sausage and bacon to make your gravy. Really, just about every recipe I've ever done for this, or seen, is done ahead of time. It is not safe to typically cook your stuffings in something. I can certainly see some people skipping the step and just throwing the rice in there raw. being like, I got enough moisture to do that. I certainly do things like that. You know, that's how I do my pasta with my lasagna. You know? For the sausage, you definitely want to make sure you get up to a proper temp. The rice, it's just generally, it's safer. Not in a physical sense, but as in a recipe sense. You know how much it's going to expand, then you know how much liquid you have before, after. It's not a guessing game. If you're a restaurant that's doing these on the regular, sure, you can develop a recipe that works perfectly that way all the time. But if you're doing it at home, I would not suggest that at all. Like if you're doing it at home, you're probably doing it from whatever rice was on sale that week versus restaurant buying specific rice that, you know, in large quantities and doing it regularly so their rice is for sure fresh, etc., etc. Earbud's still falling out of my ear, and I've changed I've increased the size of the thingy in my ear, and it's still popping out. And then here's where we get messy with things. Went a little crazy in the first one. So there we go. And that's going to go in the oven just like that. 350 degree oven. Actually, let's do 400. $400-degree oven. And we'll see how this turns out here in about 30 minutes. We want to give it enough time that the peppers actually cook through a bit. and the inside's warm if they weren't already warm. As I was saying, at this point right here, maybe without the top sauce and cheese, you can certainly freeze these very easily like this right now, and then, you know, top them and then bake them to order. So these are going to go in the oven now. I don't believe that this oven's 400 for a second, but it's telling me it is already. But that does mean that we got some waiting time now, chat. As I was saying before, if you're going to save them, you're going to wrap them up. It's going to be a situation where you're wrapping them in plastic wrap. You want to wrap them tightly, but it's a situation where you're not going to be able to prevent freezer burn. You're not going to want to let those sit in the freezer for a long time, but, you know, if you want to, you know, do your planning out for meals for a month, you can probably do that without a problem. I wouldn't plan to leave anything in a freezer more than a month unless you're like buying and breaking down big cuts of game or something like that, because otherwise you don't need to. You're not saving any money that way. If you're buying stuff for more than a month for a freezer, and you're not in a situation where you need to have stuff stocked up for winter, or your I mean, if you got a supermarket in walking distance, in reasonable walking distance to your home, you don't need to worry about things more than a month. In most cases, when you're getting past like a month with your freezer, you're getting into situations where things just become forgotten in your freezer in many cases, and additionally, your quality doesn't last beyond that. Nothing lasts well in a freezer. It just doesn't spoil easy. Like, things don't necessarily go bad in the freezer, they just lose all their flavor and become bleh. It's like the first thing that goes wrong in like bar kitchens and stuff like that too. Like, as soon as you lose any sort of management or people paying attention to what's going on, the line cooks just blindly order crap, and you end up with like 50 of things. I'm thinking back to a Santa Monica bar that someone got roped into working out with. As I recall, I got paid, but like I sort of got roped into it too. But I walked in there and I was doing it. It started out as me and Buddy were doing this special dinner for a celebrity. I don't even remember who the celebrity is, and it's been bugging me for a couple of days now. Regardless, we did this dinner. It was a cool dinner. Went off and, you know, trying to do fine dining dinner in small, cramped Santa Monica dive bar. Sort of honestly more. I mean, nothing in Santa Monica is a dive bar, but it was a dive bar for Santa Monica. Anyways, so that went off, and then they were looking for someone to actually run the kitchen, and I sort of got roped into trying it out and giving it a chance, and I gave them a week or two, I think. And I basically walked in there, organized their walk-in, organized their freezer, found out that they had like way too, like exactly what I was saying there. They had way too much stuff ordered. Their freezer was like half filled over. And I organized things and was like, yeah, you don't need this for like 6 months. And at the same time, the line cooks probably, I mean, I was not working there for them. I was not working there with them. And probably half in rebellion to me coming in there as a stranger and just reorganizing everything on that alone. Absolutely revolted to what I did and just absolutely messed up everything. I'm pretty certain on purpose. And so yeah, I was like, this probably isn't going to work out too well. And I sort of backed out of that. I actually have some questions about that dinner and the dude I was working with there, and yeah. I'm trying to look back, like, it's so, the very cool dude that I was working with that whole thing, or actually got me into that in the first thing. The other chef that I was working with for the celebrity dinner I was sort of there helping because I knew from college. Unfortunately, he's passed away now, and so I'm like, I have no like record of this stuff, and I'm wondering if this owner is the person I think he is. I seriously hope he isn't, but he could have been. You meet all sorts of interesting people in LA. Yes, Buns. Meeting celebrities is different from knowing them. I will say that Andy Dick is absolutely a dick. Yep, that's why I have no qualms about even saying that public, like, yep. Everything you see bad about it, yep. But at the same time, Buns, the ones that I have worked for, I wouldn't say that I work for them or anything like that. Just even without, any sort of legal stuff, I wouldn't want to say anything about it. Like it's like talking about a past employer. You just, unless you're in a situation where you have zero qualms about doing anything about it. But most of them have been things where I didn't even really have a whole lot of interaction with them. I would say the one that I had the most interaction with and was an absolutely cool dude, but he didn't have any, he was in the middle of a park and we were there at the farmer's market not outing him. We were not like, hey, this is a celebrity to everyone else. But Kirk Hammett was an absolute awesome dude to hang out with for 30 seconds. But all of them, they at least at one time were all San Francisco people. They seem to have moved on from California, but certainly have ties here. Along musicians too. I haven't had really anything but a brief interaction with them, but what's his name here in Sonoma is awesome too. From Primus, head of Primus, head bassist of Primus. But he's got a vineyard here with a nice little shop for his vineyard. Yes, Les Claypool. But if you come visit Sonoma, you can certainly see him, eating dinner out, and he likes supporting local businesses and not like chains and stuff like that, which is sort of cool. Most of the celebrity chefs I've met, I've either met in like chef-like settings, and so it's like, okay, yes, chef, or it's not really meeting them. It's like celebrity meeting them. Oh, absolutely, John. Yeah. Oh, I wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't suggesting, come out and go and harass him. But also, when I did my externship, I did the resort I was at hosted the Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali. Fundraising event, dinner event, celebrity event, and so like everyone under the sun was there for that. And it was sort of cool because some of them, were routed through the service areas rather than being a part of it. And he wasn't there the year I was there, but apparently the year before that, Robin Williams came through and had made a effort to actually stop and talk with all the service people as he went through, and very obviously made an impact on everyone there. And what else is there? I can't really there's not much that I want to talk about. if it was still such the event that it used to be, and I don't know, in some ways it may still be, but apparently you can actually make some pretty good bank here in Sonoma for the Bohemian Grove weekend, or Bohemian Grove weekend. For those that are unfamiliar with Bohemian Grove, it is actually a very large area, privately owned space in Sonoma County. It's notorious as being this sort of like rich and powerful man's resort, private, hidden get-together thing. And used to be, it's sort of like the old day Davos, or old day. And so there's all sorts of stories around here about people that were, you know, and primarily they hire a whole bunch of kids that are going to school around here as general service and stuff like that. And so there's all sorts of stories about, oh, I saw him when I was working there as a kid, sort of stuff. Oh no, this goes back. This goes way back. This is like, you know, this is before Hef, and to a certain degree still modern day. You certainly still notice that weekend, if you know the week that they're doing it, you will notice there's more airplanes in the sky that week, because all the private planes coming in that week and leaving. But like, what's his name? I don't even really want to give him press. But several reporters have gotten into trouble. I can't even remember his name though. The one that got sued for saying that school shootings didn't happen, or were faked. One of the things that he did was he got arrested going in there, trying to find out what was going on. But we're talking something, you know, it's like this private club men's thing. Like, yeah, there's other stories about it that are just sort of, yeah. But it exists, and apparently people work there, and apparently they hire a lot of young kids and stuff from the local area to work there for that. No, it's more just old school man, like, you know, place for men to be men, but like 1950s men to be men. But you can Google it and find all sorts of conspiracies and all sorts of other stuff that are popped up around it, you know. But there's also, you know, lots of stories about this and that were concocted there and that started there. Darts and bourbon. Yeah, that's pretty much right on there, John. It's pretty much, you know, yes. The whole architects group and all that, you know, the Masons and all that is supposedly involved in. I'll wrap up this onion. I'm not going to use that for anything else tonight. And I'll find something else to do with the rest of this. Let's make sure the rice was cooked through for this stuff. Yep. So the rice was cooked through already. Maybe slightly al dente, but cooked through it still. No little hard bits. As rice connoisseurs cringe at that description. Okay, let's see here. So I'm going to take about a 10-minute AFK here and allow that to finish cooking through. So I will see all you lovely folks here in 9-10 minutes.
Set, one piece each time. It is really interesting and amazing to know how you can prepare your meals in an appetizing and pleasing manner. There's an old saying, and a true one, that what is pleasing to the eye is bound to be pleasing to the appetite. I'm going to demonstrate this set to you, and I want you to watch it very closely. The first cutter that I'm going to show you, now this first one is known as the Parisian cutter. Wind it through the potato like a corkscrew. When the cutter appears on the opposite side, pull the cutter out. Place the handle in the center and twist it out. This is what they call a French curl. When you fry these, they come out like donuts, nice and brown. Serve them with your steaks or pot roast them. Unwind it, there's two curls out of the one potato. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, wind a little strip of bacon around the potato and serve them with bacon and eggs. They're delicious. Different colored vegetables, wind them together and you get the two colors. Here's a little trick cut. Split the curl halfway through the center. If you're making a shrimp salad and you happen to run short of shrimp, mix these in with the regular shrimp. Upon my word, you couldn't tell the difference until you started to eat 'em. Now the rest of the potato, you stuff it. We'll call this a little chicken. We'll call this here some hamburger. You might have a little meat that's been laying in the ice box for a few days. Chop the meat up fine, season it highly, stuff it into the center of the potato and bake them with the skins on. When they're done, cut them in two. Serve them on the half shell, just like that. Serve them in slices when company calls. The more company you have, the thinner you cut the slices. If your mother-in-law calls, give her a big piece like that. Now the second tool in the set is known as the garnishing knife. Everything you cut with this must come out fancy. Watch this, please. You cut down, you turn the potato, and then you cut through the edge. First one way, and then the other. Sweet potatoes cut like this. Drop them into a little batter of pancake flour and fry them. When they're golden brown, sprinkle molasses on them. Serve them with strips of bacon for breakfast while they're delicious. Here's beets, you pickle them, and carrots, you steam or cream them. In making the original French fried potato, cut them in thick slices. Put them one on top of each other. Cross-cut the slices and you'll never eat a French fry any other way. The potatoes cut like this will not absorb the fat because they're garnished around. Pineapples cut for your pineapple and cheese salad, cut them the same way. Here is one, and this is a dandy. Cuts any thickness or any size. Open it for a thick slice, close to the top for a thin slice. Saratoga chips, you can make them for 3 or 4 pennies a pound. Just pull the blade towards you like this. If you want the slices thicker than this, open the blade, there's a thick slice. Shoestrings for your Friday fish dinner, cut them down like this. Chop them up for your vegetable soup. What this knife is really intended for is for cutting the cabbage. You know the old-fashioned board, how you rip and tear, sometimes nipping the ends off your fingers. Lay it flat and pull it lightly towards you over the cabbage. The weight of the knife across the cabbage is all that's necessary. Why, ladies, when you get slaw cut as fine as this, you'll certainly appreciate eating it. The crowning feature of the set is the cutter that I'm going to show you now. This is known as the Champeen Vegetable Mincing Knife and Noodle Cutter. Now, when you want to make some real fine noodles at home, you roll the dough out like this. Dip this into a little flour so it doesn't stick to the dough, and as you roll it over the dough, that will cut the noodles in long strips, 10 at a time. Did you ever try to chop up a little nuts for cake? Why, I've seen ladies chop nuts and the nuts land up on the ceiling. Sometimes you chop the ends off your fingers. When you want to chop up a little nuts for cake, cooked meat, clams for chowder, soup greens to throw into your soup, making a little pepper or chicken hash is just a few strokes rolling it up and down. Why, here is without a doubt the meanest thing in the world to cut parsley. Put that in a grinder, you really grind it too fine. This machine, instead of crushing the parsley, cuts it quick, clean, and dry, leaving every bit of the juice and every bit of the flavor. Now, to clean this machine, you press the button. Rinse it out in a little water. When you're through using it, hang it up and let it dry. Here's one here that every lady should have in her home, known as the Parisian scoop. You lay it flat, once to the right, once to the left. When you scoop them out, you'll get a perfect round little ball. You can pot roast these, cut them out of cheese or cut them out of butter. When you're serving a fruit cocktail in the summertime, take your fresh cantaloupe, scoop them out like this, mix them with apples, pears, and watermelons, makes a delicious fruit cocktail served with a little cracked ice like you see here. But here's a tool, ladies, if you ever do get it, you'll thank the day you've seen this demonstration. When you press, it locks. It's like a pair of human hands. Reach in the oven and take the biscuits out of the oven. Ever take the hot potatoes out of the oven and burn yourself on the elbow? A roast chicken out of the oven, a piece of meat out of the pot, spinach, asparagus out of the water. Why, around canning season, when you're preserving the fruits, to take the hot fruit jars out of the water like that, that machine is worth dollars to you. And here's another one that I really know you'll enjoy having in your kitchen, known as the safety grater. No doubt you're familiar with the old-fashioned grater. I've seen ladies take a grater and rip the knuckles off. When you want to grate up potatoes for delicious potato pancakes, this has a smooth, flat edge, impossible to cut yourself. Just like you were washing clothes, you rub it up and down, and you really grate your vegetables real fine, retaining all the flavors and all the juices. Breadcrumbs for when you're serving veal cutlets or anything like that. You want a little breadcrumbs to fry your fish in? Why, there's the greatest proposition in the world. Use that for coconut, cheese, or horseradish. When you're through with it, just heat it down like that. That knocks all the food out. Rinse it out in a little water and hang it up and let it dry. Now, here is a stone made of carborundum and sapphire quartz, which is made purposely to keep these knives sharp. When they get dull, A few strokes over the edge like this, and you can put a keen cutting edge on it. If you have a dull knife or a dull pair of scissors, an old sickle or a scythe, a lawnmower, cleaver, an axe, there's a tool that will really put an edge on the knife so the knife will really cut for you. I just want to give you an idea of how sharp that knife really is when you sharpen it with that stone. Ladies, I've seen some of you try to open up cans. Now, there's a can of Campbell's baked beans. I've seen ladies open up a can and you poke a hole in it, go around the top, hippity-hop, and your finger slips. Let me show you a real proposition. Look, lay it on the can, lift up the safety, and turn the key. That locks itself on the can. No harder than you were winding up your watch. Wind up the key and that'll cut the top off the can slick and smooth. Notice how the end raises itself up in the air so you can lift the lid off, giving you a clean, smooth edge. Now that can be used for sardine cans, square cans, or round cans, exactly the same way. Now this tool here, my dear friends, needs no introduction. This will save you on an average of $20 to $30 every year you use it as a peeling knife. Here's a grater for cheese, coconut, or horseradish, a fish scaler for scaling your fish, and when you're coring your apple, it's just a slight twist of the wrist, and there's the apple core. There's one more tool that I want you to see, and I want you to watch this one very closely. Many a times when you're baking a pie, you have a pudding in the oven. I've seen ladies wrap a towel around your hand, and many a times you burn your fingers. Hook this onto the pot like this and lift the hot pots off the top of the stove. You've got a pie pan in the oven. Catch a hold of the pie pan like this. Why, you couldn't get it off with a team of horses. This will positively lift 100 pounds. There's a pail of water weighs 50 or 60 pounds. That's the way you pick it up. But there's one more tool. I'll be all through and I'll be finished. Oh, now the next tool and the last one is what they call the Sarah Bernhardt cutter. This was invented by the head chef of the Imperial Hotel in the city of Berlin, Germany. You place the screw into the center of the vegetable. Twist the vegetable until the threads catch a hold, then you wind this up. You keep winding until you utilize the whole potato. The faster you turn, the quicker the slices. Why, ladies, here's a...
Okay, I'm cutting that off a little bit early. We got our peppers done. We have peppers. We have dinner. Oh, those are looking lovely. Let's get this music back on first, though. Those be looking lovely. So what are we thinking, chat? We got a winner? Who wants a pepper? And which pepper do you want? Do you go for the green? You go for the red? You seen all that lovely color down there at the bottom too? darn you, autofocus. But I think that wraps things up here for tonight. Going to be continuing the Minecraft mornings. I'm thinking I'm going to take Sunday, Mondays off for that. And so I'll be back with that starting on Tuesday before my food stream. So look to see you there for that. Be back here on Tuesday, wrapping up our week of budget dinners. Going to be doing hummus. Certainly something that can be done very cheaply or very expensively. So hope to see you back for both of those. We have the ingredient challenge going on in the Discord. So please vote. Please make your own suggestions into the ingredient suggestion channel so we have more stuff to work with here in the future. And yes, let's see who's out there in Twitch land tonight. I'm going to leave it there, folks. Greatly appreciate you all coming to join in with me tonight and hang out while I made some stuffed peppers. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me tonight. I'll be back again on Tuesday. See you then. Good night.